You guys in a minute. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's Saturday, um, March 16th, day before St. Patrick's Day. If you're wearing green, okay. If you're not, doesn't matter. Oh boy, sorry. My name is Lou Tenora. Welcome once again. It's a beautiful day in the New York, New Jersey area. It's 62 degrees, but it's not going to last long because after all, this is March, or I think they call it Smarch now, because you can't make up your mind what it is. All right. So, of course, we'll be here until just before 6 o'clock before Rizal McGee takes over his fine show. Don't forget the number is 512-543-4662. Again, 512-543-4662. Also, other upcoming shows, Kevin Dixon with Just Us Sports Monday nights from 7 to 9. And Betty Campbell with her new show coming up April 21st. I believe that's going to be 8:30 to 10 on Sunday nights, if I'm not mistaken. But time is subject to change, as we know. But I think it's going to be that time. Good. All right. And don't forget, you also catch us also on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in The Enhanced Sports Show, and you'll hear this show in its entirety. And if you want to subscribe, it's $4.95 a month. And I want to thank all the new subscribers for listening in and subscribing. So I appreciate it very much. All right, let's get down to the good stuff. All right, Steve Davidson. Mike? Mike? Okay, Steve, are you there? Good, that's better. Diane. All right. Well, it's been another interesting week in the sports world. We've had the um, NFL new league year that has begun. I mean, we got quite a list here. I'm gonna start this now. Remember, I can't go through every name of the book. That would take the whole show. Probably take it the next week's show. So we'll just go over the selected few as the time is allowed. All right. Hey, with me so far? Oh boy. All right. So first up, the New York Jets are upgrading their offensive line as they so badly need it because their offensive line was trash last year. According to CBS Sports, the Jets are landing former Ravens offensive tackle Morgan Moses. Steve, I forget, are you a Ravens fan or a Commanders fan? Steve? Steve, are you a Commanders fan or are you a Ravens fan? Okay, so I guess then doesn't affect you one way or the other. All right. All right. Okay. I know it doesn't apply to the other guys here, but okay. So to carry on. All right. ESPN New York reported the Jets will send fourth and sixth round picks to the Ravens for Moses. The Jets moved down from 112 to 134, while the Ravens will receive the 218th pick in the draft. That's like the sixth or seventh round. The Jets' offensive line was a major concern from the start of last season, including the first 3 snaps of the year before Aaron Judge tore his Achilles, and the season went downhill from there. Moses did not play at right tackle in 2021 season for the Jets before signing a 3-year, $15 million deal the following season. He is set to draw a base salary of $5.5 million this season, giving the Jets a very affordable option at position that desperate need. The Jets will still need more answers on the offensive front to protect both Rodgers and clear way for Breece Hall, but armed with only $12.1 million cap space, according to overthecap.com. They'll need to do some work to clear enough space to make signings or trades. All right, so Steve, your thoughts on the Jets with their offensive line and who they got? Because, like I said, they really need to clear up their offensive line because while their defense was great last year, their offensive line was like a third-rate team, almost like as bad as a USFL team. Oh boy. Wow. Any thoughts on that, Steve? I'll get to that later. We have to do a one article at a time. Their defense was good last year, but their offense, they couldn't just tack on a lot of points. Their offense, their defense was garbage. So yeah, but last year their offensive line was like a second rate or third rate NFL team, and that was not good. That's how we managed to lose many of these games, aside from the fact that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But because I think our offensive line really suffered from that injury from that point on, and our backups were just like, I'm not gonna go there. So you had to factor that all in. Our defense was good, which usually used to be the other way around. Our offense was good, but our defense was trash. Now this year it got reversed. So on that. Yeah. Mikey, your thoughts? Since I know you're a Giant fan, but you follow the Jets as well. So your thoughts on that? Jets. I'll get to the Giants later. No, Steve, Mike, we're going to the Jets first. We'll do the Giants later. You hope so. Okay, Diane. Diane. Yeah, I do have other interesting news about the Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, but I have to go through my articles, as the show goes on. But you might find it interesting, or you might find it hilarious, depending on the case. And if you follow closely, what you know I'm talking about. All right, so moving on. Okay, boy, we got a lot of NFL moves, don't we, guys? Well, it's that time of year. What can I say? Oh wait, but the Commanders signed former. Here's one for you, Steve. The Commanders signed former Seahawks linebacker Bobby Wagner to a 1-year deal worth up to $8.5 million. So, what do you make of that? I think it's. Uh, yeah, I figured you would be interested in hearing that. Yes, of course. I don't know what anybody else thinks on the panel, but I think that I did be on agree here. All right. So now the second article containing to Aaron Rodgers. You ready for this, guys? Now he is supposed to be the Jets starting quarterback for the upcoming season. However, did you hear this one? He's also considering adding vice presidential candidate to his list of responsibilities. You heard me correct. The former MVP quarterback is on the potential running mates list for a third-party candidate, Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., or RFK for short, who confirmed his interest to the New York Times by former WWE wrestler and former governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. For those of you who forgot, he was a governor of Minnesota. The interest has reportedly taken the former Kennedy speaking with Rogers over the past month. The domain was named KennedyRogers.com. That's all one word, Kennedy Rogers, no slash, who was reportedly registered at a GoDaddy host last week. Kennedy is considered a fringe candidate who received attention from his promotion of conspiracy theories and vaccine skepticism. That's an area where he and Rogers are quite in alignment, as Rogers had become increasingly notorious in the football world for using his public appearances to make controversial and sometimes outright ridiculous false statements, such as the implied that Jimmy Kimmel was on the Jeffrey Epstein list. I forgot who Epstein was, though. But we'll tackle that some other time. The Kimmel statement earned scorn from ESPN, the network that aired it, who employs Kimmel with Kennedy. However, Rogers would be running with a person who has acknowledged taking 2 flights on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane. Oh boy. We won't have to wait long to find out who Kennedy will pick for his running mate. His campaign announced on Thursday that Kennedy would announce his candidacy on, get this, guys, March 26th. Gee, why does that date ring a bell for me? Yeah, hint, hint. Yeah. We'll explain that. We'll explain that later. But what do we make of this with Aaron Rodgers possibly becoming a vice presidential candidate? I mean, I don't know whether to take this seriously or whether to think this is just a joke. I mean, I think this could be an early April Fool's gag. But apparently, there's some discussion that he might be a vice presidential running mate. I mean, it's not the first time that, sports figure has run for office. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I just don't see him doing now, or he's still having his football career. So I don't know if it's legit or not yet. But it makes a very interesting story here. All right, so Steve, what do you think of maybe Mr. Rogers going to Washington? You think it's for real? All right. How about that, Mike? Yeah. How about you, Diane? Or sooner, or as the case may be. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I kind of didn't take this very seriously at first, but apparently other people are. I mean, who's to say he won't make a good candidate? He might. I mean, like I said, there have been other um, players that are for office, like Bill Bradley. He became senator of New York. And he played for the Knicks. I'm actually in New Jersey, so it has happened. Jesse the Body Ventura. And of course, those who did not vote for him all got body slammed out afterwards. So, oh boy, okay, oh boy, sorry. It might be. I think I remember that now. Yeah, yeah. So, it has happened before, but but I think Rodgers should wait till after his football career is over. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can juggle, uh, running a vice president candidacy and getting body slammed by your NFL opponents at the same time. Not a good idea. I think if he wants to run, wait till the career is over. Wait till your NFL career is over, because the way I see it, you've only got 1 or 2 years left anyway. I mean, he is well, Diane. I mean, he is past the age of 40, and athletes take such a beating on the court or on the field, wherever. Uh, so you got to factor in that. But I say wait till it's over, because you can't not juggle, handling football plays and knocking people over and running for office at the same time. I wouldn't do it. Boy, that would give me a headache. Ah, All right. Once again, the number is 512-543-4662. Hopefully some more callers will call in. But we're doing okay now. It's a maybe a slower crowd, but I think it's gonna be a more of a faster pace. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so moving on. Okay, now how about this? The Jets and Cowboys, the two teams that I go for. Now, isn't this interesting? Well, they made a trade. Well, how about that? CBS Sports reported that the Jets will sign former Dallas Cowboys All-Pro left tackle Tyron Smith, as Steve just mentioned, to a one-year deal. New York is working on upgrading its offensive line, which was in shambles last year, allowed 64 sacks, fourth most in the league. Ugh. Smith explained his decision to go to the Jets in a phone conversation by CBS Sports. I think it was Josina Anderson that said that. I thought you were for ESPN. Smith said, I would love to stay in Dallas, but we all know that this is a business, and this is how the business works. I still feel the Jets have an opportunity to win, and anything I can do for the team to help out, I'm going to do my best to do it. Smith, who has spent his entire career with the Cowboys, was selected ninth overall out of USC. It was reported that Smith would not be returning to the Cowboys, as the Dallas Morning News reported at the NFL Combine, and that both sides were far apart when it came to the financial framework. Well, there's your right there. Get rid of that. You're done. Smith started in 161 games, starts, playing 161 games in all starts, a five-time All-Pro, eight-time Pro Bowler. While injuries have affected him recently, he's been great in the lineup when he's available. Last season, he had a pass blocking grade of 88.6, the highest in the league among offensive linemen to play at least 100 snaps. Upgrading the offense line to keep Aaron Rodgers healthy was the Jets' priority in the offseason to-do list, and Smith is excited about a future. Is excited to block for a future Hall of Famer. I kind of like this move because, like I said, the Jets really could use it, and I think maybe they may have found the right man for this. So, and to think, the Cowboys and the Jets, the two teams that I follow most of all, isn't that something? They made a trade. All right, so what do you make of this, Mike? The Jets and the Cowboys made a trade. They got Tyron Smith. Well, it is for the regular season. Now, of course, I think it was pending a physical, but I think that's going to be taken care of. So I think it's going to be a good move because we can use that in that position. Otherwise, we're all in trouble. Diane, yeah, Steve, Steve Davidson, are you there? All right, Steve, are you there? Okay, you're not. Yeah, I don't seem to be responding though. Well, it's not surprising. It always goes whacked. That's how this works. More than other years, you think? Okay, okay. Oh yeah. So in other words, you're saying it feels more active this year than in previous years. All right, I'll buy that. Right. All right. So it's an improvement. $91 million. And that's not something, no, no, we're not. Did I get yeah, did I get your comment though on Rogers possibly for vice president? Okay. All right. I got a two-part story on Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G and Hunter Renfro were among two of the four Raiders that were released on Wednesday, the first day of the new NFL league year. The Raiders officially made the decision to release the quarterback and wide receiver on the first day of the new league year, or as we say, the free agent frenzy beginning. By doing so, the Raiders will save a total of $19 million in cap space. Backup quarterback Brian Hoyer and backup tackle Jerry Tilley were the two other Raiders that were let go or released, as the case may be. The writing was on the wall for Garoppolo, no kidding. After the Raiders reportedly reached a deal worth $25 million with free agent quarterback Gardner Minshew on Monday. Ugh. Should the Raiders not find their quarterback in next month's draft, then Minshew provides competition for Aiden O'Connell. The rookie replaced Garoppolo in the starter when he and Coach Antonio Pierce took over Josh McDaniels after he was fired last October. This closed out a one-year chapter for Garoppolo as the Raiders quarterback, and after a year, he signed a three-year, $2.5 million deal with $33 million guaranteed. You got to fix your stuff. Greg, how are you? Oh yeah, oh we're going to college basketball, of course, because we got a lot to do. Uh, yeah, yeah, right. Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that wasn't. Oh yeah. Mhm. They weren't with St. John's either. I mean, they looked awful. Thursday. Yeah. No. Mhm. I want updates on that. I want an update on that. I want an update on that, man. You know, I want an update. I want an update on that. Okay. I see. So other well, hang on. Well, Greg, we're gonna do basketball soon, so might want to stay on. just let me go through things here. So anyway, for the Buffalo Bills, quarterback Kyron Allen was signed with the Bills. Running back Damian Harris signed a 1-year deal thanks to Ian Rappaport. I don't know what that guy. Over to other. Okay, running back Myles Garrett re-signed with the Dolphins for 2 years. Wait, no, he re-signed with the Dolphins. Didn't say 2 years. Sorry. Running back Raheem Morissette signed a $5.6 million deal, $2.2 million guaranteed. Braxton Berrios signed a 1-year, $3.5 million deal, $5 million deal with $3 million guaranteed. Not bad. Not bad, isn't it, guys, for so far with Buffalo? Get me a home with a Buffalo roam. Oh, no. All right, never mind. I thought I'd throw that in. Yes, I know. I was just trying to make a joke out of it. Okay. Malik Reed signed with the Dolphins. Oh, boy, that's not good. Edge rusher Andrew Van Ginkel signed with the Dolphins. Move down there. The Patriots. Okay, quarterback Trace McSorley signed with the team. Juju Smith-Schuster signed a 3-year, $25.5 million deal worth up to $33 million with incentives and received a $16 million guarantee. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I'm going through the big names. Mike Gesicki signed a 1-year, $4.5 million deal with $3.5 million guaranteed and worth a maximum $9 million with incentives, of course. Calvin Anderson signed a 2-year deal. Linebacker Mack Wilson signed a 1-year deal with the $2.2 million. Mike, are you having a problem? Okay. All right, now for the Jets. Listen carefully. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers acquired in a trade with the Green Bay Packers. The Jets also received a 2023 first-round pick. Wait, am I doing the right one here? I think this is the wrong one. Oh, okay, never mind. Scratch that because I went to the wrong page again. All right. So we'll just start again. Wacko Flacco is coming back for one more year. That's Joe Flacco, the longtime quarterback and comeback player of the year, signed a 1-year deal worth $8.7 million with the Colts on Wednesday, according to ESPN. The deal is also $4.5 million guaranteed. Flacco played in 5 games with the Browns last season with the Browns this season, who signed him after Deshaun Watson went down with a shoulder injury. Flacco went 4-1 with the Browns, and though they were knocked out of the playoffs by Houston in the wild card round, Flacco did throw though for 1,616 yards and 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions last season, which is the 16th in the league. After the Ravens selected him 18th in the 2008 draft. Flacco became the first quarterback in league history to throw more than 250 yards and multiple touchdowns in his first 5 games with a different team. Flacco also led the Ravens to a Super Bowl in 2013. I remember that. And has thrown for 43,006 yards and 245 touchdowns in his career. After spending 11 seasons with the Ravens, he spent 1 season with the Broncos and 3 with the Jets before landing with the Browns. The Colts will be the 5th team that Flacco will play for. Mm-hmm. Flacco will be likely the backup starter to Anthony Richardson. The Colts selected Richardson 4th out of Florida in last year's draft. Though he only played 4 games last season with a shoulder injury, he did throw for 577 yards and 7 touchdowns while going 2-2 in that span. The Colts finished 9-8 but missed the playoffs for a 3rd straight year after turning Gardner Minshew in the absence of Flacco. So, what do you make of Flacco coming back for another year? Although I think it's going to be his last. I'm not so sure he's going to, hang around much longer. Alan, what do you make of that with Wacko Flacco making another run? Very little. Yeah, but don't you think he's kind of like being on the edge of like a dinosaur? Yeah. Well, I think I would rather trust him more than Gardner Minshew, so I think I have to agree with you on that. I mean, he's not your man, Gardner Minshew. Oh boy, Steve, your thoughts? Yeah. All right, Mike. I just mentioned it, Mike. I'll come back to you. Diane, your thoughts on Joe Flacco, Mike. You guys really think he's still got some left in him, huh? Hmm. Okay. I mean, he has. Well, I mean, he has slacked off a little bit in recent years. So I mean, it's a sign of age. But if you guys think he's still got some left in the tank, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. We'll see. Okay. NFL linebacker Eric Kendricks, who Wednesday signed a 1 year agreement with the 49ers, decided to join the Cowboys instead. Ha ha. Earlier on Thursday, the Cowboys announced that they agreed to terms with Kendricks. The agreement is for 1 year, source told ESPN. To you Commanders fans out there, I'm sorry. Cowboys defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, who coached Kendricks with the Vikings, wanted the former Pro Bowl selection to help run his defense, and Kendricks also said he wanted to play in Dallas. Ooh, good for me. The Cowboys had a major role to fill a linebacker by using safety Marquise Bell after losing Langton Vander Esch this season with a neck injury, and DeMarvin Overshown with a knee injury in camp. Double whammy. Vander Esch is expected to retire in the next few weeks, but with Kendricks, they have someone who knows the Zimmer scheme, and has been credited with more than 100 tackles in all but one season of his 9 year career. A team captain with the Chargers last season with 117 tackles, Kendricks last season was released by the Chargers on March 5th as it became a salary cap casualty. Mm-hmm. After joining the team on a 2 year, $13.2 million deal contract prior to 2023. The Chargers also saved $6.5 million in his release. The linebacker had 3.5 sacks and a forced fumble last season. Kendricks, a 2025 second round pick, played 8 seasons with the Vikings before his release after the 2022 season. He had team leading 137 tackles for the Vikings in 2022, starting in all 17 games. Selected to the Pro Bowl in 2019. He's only one, though, and has 1,036 tackles and 18.5 sacks in 127 starts in 32 games. So, Steve, I know how much this thrills you that he's going to the Cowboys, right? Right. Yeah. Yes. Hint, hint, right? Hint, hint. Yes. Roger, welcome aboard. Anything you want to comment on? Anything you want to comment on before I move on? Anything you want to comment on before I move to the next article? Okay, well, welcome aboard anyway. All right. There was another article here in football. We're doing free agency in the NFL right now, Roger, because the free agency move just came to a start on Wednesday. So just going the highlights. The Chargers are sending receiver Keenan Allen to the Bears for a fourth-round pick. Oh, where's my brother when you need him now? Oh, great. The deal comes a day after wide receiver Mike Williams in a move that will save the Chargers 20 gazillion in cap, 20 million, while incurring a dead cap charge of 12 million. Oh boy. League rules require the Chargers to be under the cap, which is 255.4 million, which was by Wednesday. Williams made the salary cap compliant. So good. Allen, who was best season ever last season, setting franchise records of 108 receptions and finished with 1,243 yards. Holy mackerel. Allen told reporters in January that he would only consider playing for a few teams if traded from the Chargers, and then possibly would consider retirement. Ugh. And what we call that, guys? You don't know what we call it, do you? What do we call that when this happens? We play hardball. I guess. I guess you. Yes, I guess you guys. I guess you guys forgot that saying. Yeah, apparently you forgot that one. I haven't used it in a while, so I guess you might have all forgot about it. All right. Okay. Yeah, we'll move on to the basketball now. We'll come back to football if there's time up in the show. I want to get through some basketball right now because it's conference championship time, everybody. Favorite time of year aside from the tournament. Remember, the tournament selections will be held tomorrow night between 6 and 7 o'clock. So all you basketball college crazy fans like me out there, you might want to tune in. All right. So let's run down with the Big Ten tournament right now. Right now, Nebraska is leading Illinois 38-27 in the first period, first half, by the way. So they'll have a chance to win tomorrow. So, Steve, what do you like in this game to advance to the championship game tomorrow? Do you like Nebraska or Illinois? All right. Mike. Diane. Roger. Okay, flip a coin. All right. All right, I got all of you. All right. So that's because the final game is tomorrow, and we'll know who's in the finals. Actually, I'll figure that out right now because one game did end already, and it was good game here. Wisconsin over Purdue by 76-75. So it'll be whoever was this will face Purdue tomorrow. Okay. Now, big one tonight here, guys. Listen to this one. This is a 6 o'clock game. Yes, it's 6 o'clock. Number 1, Houston versus Iowa State. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this one. Steve? Mike? Diane? Roger? Okay, Houston, we don't have a problem here. All right. Oh, boy. Yeah. I just thought that in. Okay. In the Big East final. I'm looking forward to this one, guys. All right. Number 10, Marquette versus number 2, UConn. Let me start with the local crew first since they're close to the area. Mike. I think Marquette's in Indiana, Diane, if I'm not mistaken. So who do you got, Marquette or UConn? Roger? Steve? Okay, I guess it's unanimous then. Why? Because you can do it. Oh boy, they're gonna kill me when this gets off the air. All right, ACC final. Okay, this looks good. After the shock that North Carolina beat Duke on Thursday, it's an all North Carolina battle here. North Carolina versus North Carolina State. I wouldn't say this is going to be an easy game. I mean, North Carolina State plays tough. You know, they're I mean, okay, they're not ranked in the top 25, but they are a very decent team. I think they're underrated and whatnot. So I wouldn't be too shocked by this. They have a fairly decent record, 21-14 overall, but that conference record, they got it. They would have to win the title tonight if they're going to get into the dance tomorrow. They're going to have to win because they have a below conference record. So this game means more to the Wolfpack than say the Tar Heels. But hey, stranger things have happened. All right, all right. So Steve, who do you got between in the Battle of North Carolina? Now you want the Tar Heels, not the Wolfpack, correct? All right. All right, Alex, let me bring up the speed here for the conference championship Saturday. All right, first up, you want Illinois or Nebraska? Well, they got their work cut out for them now because they're trailing by 15. All right, who do you got between uh, Houston and Iowa State? What do you got? You can say that again. 30-3, number one in the nation. Sure. UConn, Marquette. Who do you got? You got it. You got it. I knew it. That was uh, they are. They are. All right. In the Battle of North Carolina, who do you got? Tar Heels or the Wolfpack? Yeah. So in other words, the password's exhaustion. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Mike, who do you got in this game? Wait, just say by team name. Say either Tar Heels or Wolfpack, since they're both from the same state. So let's put it like that. Okay. Okay, good. Diane, Roger. Okay. And okay, we're all up to speed now. All right, we're getting a good crowd now. All right, moving on. Moving on. All right, we already had one final, Wisconsin or Purdue. Steve, who did you have? I wouldn't be surprised. Mike? No, no, no. Wisconsin, Purdue. Who did you have? Okay, but remember who did you? So you have Purdue. Yeah, we got to speak in past tense for this one because it's already over. So we have to speak in past tense. Diane, who did you have? Alex? Alex? I'll get back to him. All right. Okay. And Roger, who did you have? I have Purdue as well. Although that this game can win either direction anyway. I mean, they're just that tight. So I wouldn't be surprised by any team. All right, and the last one for here, Auburn, Mississippi State. That is a final actually. All right, Steve, who did you have in this game? Auburn and Mississippi State. Mike, Diane, Alex, Roger, making unanimous. Okay. All right, now let's go to tomorrow's schedule because tomorrow is the big day. Oh yeah, and they'll go like this. Because I assume we do have games tomorrow. All right, yeah, and Brown beat Princeton today. They had a pretty good lead for Princeton by about 25 points, and then 22 points, I should say, and then Princeton tried to cut it down to 3, but Brown was just too strong at the end, so kind of disappointing. So for tomorrow, we have Brown versus Yale. Ooh, it's gonna be good. Steve, what do you got? Mike, Diane, Roger, Alex, Yale. Yale it is. All right. Um, and everybody else is going to be determined later on because that's how it works this time of year. We don't know who's going to play who yet, and we won't know until later on. Wisconsin is in for the final for the game. VCU will play the winner of which will play in that game. And Auburn will be decided later. So it really gets a little bit confusing this time of year when some of the games are already over. You know who you're going to play against and some of the others. So but it does make for interesting basketball this time of year. And of course, next week, will be in the second round of the NCAA tournament. But we'll review the first round, and I want your predictions, of course, for the round of 48. Yeah, 48. That's right. I keep track of this very carefully, as you guys know by now. Well, I think, but now that the show's in the 7th year, I think we know that by now, right? Right. I do. Okay. Speaking of more basketball, Oregon shut down two-time Pac-12 champion Arizona in a conference semifinal game. And faintly Dante, who was injured in the first half, came back strong in the second half to shut down the top seed Wildcats. Dante scored 14 points and 10 rebounds, overcoming the bad fall. He also had 4 blocked shots. Not bad for a guy who fell down. To continue on, Jackson Shelstead scored 21 points for Oregon, and Jermaine Cousin-Stard scored 20 points. Head coach Dana Allman said that Dante suffered a bruised tailbone. So they asked him, "Does it hurt?" "Yeah, only when I sit down." Okay, all right. Oregon will face the winner of will face Colorado in tonight's championship game. Oh, all right. So let's ask that. Who do you got, Oregon or Colorado, Steve? Mike. It's a split so far. Diane. Roger. Alex. I'm going with Oregon too. I figured that was going to be a split anyway. That wasn't going to be a clear winner. All right, Arizona. Now Arizona, I believe, is going to be in. I mean, they are the top seed, and you don't necessarily have to win your conference title to get in. They'll earn a destination by tomorrow. The Wildcats were favored though by 11.5 points, and we're looking to be the first three-peat Pac-12 champions since they won 3 straight from 1988 to 1990, and again a 4 straight from 1988 to 1990, and again 2002. The strange thing is the Pac-12 had no conference champion. There was no conference championships in the Pac-12 from 1991 to 2001. I don't know why they just didn't do it. So those of you who are asking me, what about the other 10, 11 years? They just didn't have it. They just didn't feel it was necessary. But they brought it back in. Of course, this is the last Pac-12 championship, as it'll be now known as the Pac-2 next year, which is a joke. Because everybody else is bolting for ACC and other conferences. A moment of silence for the Pac-12. Thank you. What a shame. All right. Hey, here's an interesting story for you guys. You're going to love this. And particularly you, Steve, since you're a boxing fan. Ready? This is a very interesting story of the week. Boxing legend, the late Muhammad Ali, who was inducted, ready for this, into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm not kidding, guys. This is real. He wasn't in WWE. Now, before you're thinking, Louis, are you crazy? No. I'll explain. The 3-time world heavyweight champion, who was already in numerous Hall of Fames, most notably an original member of the Boxing Hall of Fame, will now be recognized for his involvement in the WWE. He has had involvement in that. After wrestlers such as Gorgeous George inspired his public persona. By the way, Diane, that was a wrestler back in the 1960s, in case you were wondering. Yeah, my uncle followed that. Gorgeous George. Ali stepped out inside the squared circle on, listen to this date, June 26, 1976. That date rings a bell for me as well. I'll explain later. For an exhibition match against Antonio, I hope I don't mess this name up, Antonio Inoue in Tokyo, Japan. And though the bout went the distance and resulted with a draw, the event still drew 32,000 fans at the Nippon Arena and another 33,000 fans in the U.S. by closed-circuit television. Okay, that explains why I didn't see it, because I would have seen it if it was televised. Almost a decade later, Ali served as a special guest referee at the very first WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, who paid his opponents, Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff, aka Mr. Wonderful. In 1995, he took part in a sports diplomacy mission in North Korea and was a guest of honor at the Collision of Korea. That was co-promoted by WCW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Steve, I think you might remember some of these, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, like the first WrestleMania, especially the first WrestleMania. I mean, I remember that. Yeah, I paid the fool for gonna lose his match. Oh no. Okay, I had to do it. I had to do it. I was a big Mr. T fan, guys, so forgive me on that one. Gonna bust you up. Go for it. Oh, now sadly, of course, the champ passed away on June 3rd, 2016. I remember it very well, at the age of 74. But his legacy as one of the world's greatest athletes and persist his work to modernize and globalize pro wrestling in the world of sports and entertainment, said by the WWE in a statement. There are many who claim to be great, but only one is the greatest, said WWE Chief Officer Triple H Leskeview, as he wrote on X, formerly Twitter, I made the before the announcement was made. Ali transcended the sport and became a global icon and impacted the world like no one else could. I can vouch for that. Ali will be inducted alongside Mike Rotunda, Barry Windham, that's aka the U.S. Express, and Bull Nakano in a ceremony on April 5th at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia as part of the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. All right, Steve, your thoughts on that? I know you're probably thinking, why is that? Why was Ali inducted in the Wrestling Hall of Fame? Now you know. I mean, I was yes, right, yeah. I understand the reason behind it. I mean, I think it was a wonderful gesture on his part to do as well. Yes, I mean, I can just hear it now. The champ is here. The champ is here, and I'm a bad man. I am a bad man. Yes. Okay. Uh, Alex, what do you make of that? You bet. Yeah, I guess I'll overlook that. Because I didn't think of it much. Then again, I did follow wrestling when I was a kid, actually, so I do recall doing some of that. Yeah, I actually did follow wrestling. Especially in the 70s. Well, my cousins, I think, were also involved in wrestling too, so I got involved into it. Uh, yeah, sure. Mikey, yeah, Diane, Roger. No, he didn't wrestle in the sport, but he made contributions to the sport, so that's why they're inducted. You know, yeah, he did. Oh, you mean the 76? I thought it was boxing, not a wrestling match. I guess. Yeah, okay, we'll count that. We'll count it. All right. I got some more boxing news here. This was a little bit less encouraging. How many of you remember a boxer named Roberto Duran? Now remember, guys, I didn't say Duran Duran. I said Roberto Duran. So let's keep that. Okay. I'll explain as we go along. Former boxing champion received care for a heart condition. The family said earlier this morning. Duran was a champion in four different weight classes. How about that? He suffered a health complication due to a blockage, his family said on the Instagram page. We are awaiting the results so we can provide more information on his health. The statement continued, we thank our family, friends, and fans who are praying for him. WBC President Marcelo Suleiman said in a social media post statement that Duran was being treated in a hospital in his native of Panama. His family joined him in prayer for a prompt and successful recovery. He is a champion and will fight this till the end, as he posted on X. Don't forget, guys, I mean, he is 72 years old now. He took a beating, of course, in the boxing ring as well. But it's just a shame to see how, a champion like that back in our generation, go down like that. And, I certainly wish him, all the best. I think though he'll come out of this, without any trouble. But he is, it's just sad to see that, the great boxers, of our generation to go down like that. Any thoughts from on Roberto Duran? We'll start with Steve. Yeah. Mike? No, he was a professional boxer. You maybe yeah, maybe you don't remember him as well as some of us do. How about you, Alex? You remember Roberto Duran? Absolutely. Uh, Roger, any thoughts on Roberto Duran? Huh. Okay. For some reason, I was. I think my dad got me into that, and my uncle. So, but I'm praying for a speedy recovery. Hang in there, champ. You're not down. You're not down for the count yet. Nice segue on that one. Yeah. All right. So we'll get down to baseball. Wait. There was one other. Yeah, there was one other. There was one other, I think, basketball article I wanted to mention. Yes. In a meeting with the NBA Competition Committee on Thursday, the league office outlined increased officiating focus on offensive hunting players, hunting out fouls, and veering off pathways to the basket into defenders on how those points of emphasis have impacted a decrease in scoring. A memo shared by by ESPN, although it didn't happen with the All-Star game. Oh, no. The officiating forces that were outlined in January and February point on emphasis memos that the league shared with the referees and team officials are believed to have caused a decrease in scoring. In that memo, the league describes itself as continuing to evaluate the state of the offense versus defense balance with the focus on guarding position at level of contact on pathway to the basket. Despite a 4-point decline in scoring and a 1.9 decrease in fouls per team, which I think is good, in recent weeks, league officials told members of the committee that there is no directive form the league office to the result of reducing scoring, according to the memo. However, the league noted that this trend will continue to be monitored. Slower pace style of play and competitive intensity officiating focus have been all contributing factors identified so far. I can agree with that. The league also told its teams in the memo further evaluation at future meetings will determine whether the rule or rule interpretation changes should be considered for next season. Any thoughts on this, guys? I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but because I like to see more scoring in the game as well. I mean, I'm glad to see the fouls are down, because that kind of messes the game up. So I'm glad there's a decrease in the fouls, but I'm not happy with the way scoring is down. It doesn't make for competitive basketball, to be honest. So Any thoughts on this? And what can we do to be done here? Now, why didn't you do that in the All Star game? Because that would, that blew up 11 points. So, you know, go figure that out. So, Steve, any thoughts? All right. Uh-oh. Stand by, guys. All right, Utah, you're on. Oh, no. Not him again. Hold on, one more chance. Utah, are you there? Okay, it's him. I don't really smell a rat, guys. I don't want to smell a rat. Okay. Yeah, I know. Too bad to start in the middle of the show here. Oh, boy. All right. So, any thoughts? So, any thoughts on the decreased scoring and whatnot, or no? Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Especially after the All-Star game, I thought maybe there'd be an increase anyway, but I guess they all got exhausted after that anyhow. Yeah, right. If it might have, I'm not saying it's anything directly related to it, but it could. I highly doubt it, but it could. But something's got to be done. I hope we don't see that in the playoffs because I would just see a good competitive game in the playoffs. As we head into it. And right now, oh, the NBA playoffs. And for those of you who are about, let's see, we're March 16th, about 4 weeks from now, around the same time, with the NHL playoffs begin. And for those of you who are listening in to the Rangers Penguins game here, if you're a Rangers fan, I got some good news for you. They're up 5-3. 4 minutes into the third period. Go Rangers! All right, all right. Here's another basketball article. Veteran forward Ty Gibson signs on with the Pistons for the rest of the season, said by agent Mark Bartelstein of Priority Sports. Gibson is expected to sign with the with the Pistons today. He joined the Pistons last week on a 10-day contract after being waived by the Knicks in January. That's right. Gibson is now his 15th season, was the first pick for the Bulls in 2009, where he played for 8 seasons. He also played for the Thunder, Wolves, and the Wizards. How about that, Steve? Yep. He also played with the Wizards. And we're off to see the Wizard. All right. Somebody just came in here. I think it's Gerald. It's Gerald. Gerald, anything in the NASCAR? Anything in your NASCAR department? All right. Uh-huh. I like that. Yes. All right. I like that. Now, it's Bristol, Tennessee, correct? Okay, because I think Bristol, I think of Connecticut. Your backyard, you better get a good parking. You better get a good parking lot for that then. Okay. Oh, if it's in your backyard, you better get a good parking lot for that. Oh, 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 bump. Okay, that sounds a little bit better because if it's gonna be in your driveway, you got a big problem. Oh boy. All right. Yeah. I won't be in that traffic jam. Okay, moving on to baseball now. Well, if you're a Yankee fan, well, a little bit of bad news. Garrett Cole is out for the opening day start, and the Yankees will now turn to Nestor Cortez for the regular season opener. Cortez was named the replacement for opening day. I know it's a little bit of a harsh word to use, but well, Friday, while Garrett is recovering from an elbow injury and will be out for at least the first month of the season. This will be the first opening day start for his career. I was not aware of that. The Yankees will open the season on the road against the the Astros on March 28th. Uh, Yankee man, Yankee manager Aaron Boone confirmed the news on Friday. I just had to do that. Sorry. Nick Cortez, the Yankees will start the most popular player remaining on the rotation, but a difficult 2023, but he was not alone. His season was cut short by a rotator cuff strain in his left shoulder in June, and then only made one start after that before being shut down for the season. Eek. Cortez's time on the mound last season was also measured with a lack of success, though it could be related to his shoulder issues. He averaged 5.2 innings per start with a 4.97 in 12 starts, a 4.9 ERA in 12 starts. All right, Mikey, what do you make of Cortez starting in the place of Garrett for the opener? So you, so you think it's going to be? So you think it's going to be okay? Oh, okay, good. Uh, Alex, Alex. All right, never mind. Gerald, yep. Unfortunately, yes. That's a big fear of me right there. Uh, you can say that again. Yeah. Anyone else agree with that? Yeah. So anyway, I have an update on this now. Um, as the news came out, he'll be out for 3 to 4 weeks due to inflammation in his right shoulder. That's Cole. Cole did not discuss the timeline beyond that, but he did go on to say that he was not shut down from everything. The Yankees said they plan to keep the arm alive by doing various exercises in the area. Cole is one of those Iron Man type pitchers that seldom gets injured. Well, we all get injured at some point. He has made 30 starts per season, minus the pandemic 2020 season, and the Yankees believe they know why Cole has been dealing with the injury. I think we determined that it was just too hard to handle too quickly in spring training, said Cole. Cole will avoid Tommy John surgery for now and will not require one of those plasma enriched injections during his rehab. So it's not necessarily all great, but it's not necessarily all bad either. And I think within a month's time, I think he's going to be back in the regular starting rotation. So while Cole was dealing with a little bit of an injury, it's far from over. And I think once he gets back, I think he's going to be as good as ever. At least I hope so. Yeah. By the way, opening day is Thursday. If you're not, for those of you keeping track. No. Listen, no. Listen, guys. Listen. For most of us, it's the 20th, but there is going to be an opening day game against the Dodgers and the Giants on Thursday. And if I can go to that article here, I'll explain it. For the rest of us, it's March 28th, but for some, yeah. Oh, by the way, Aaron Donald announced his retirement on Friday after 10 seasons. His 10 seasons, he was a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8-time first team All Pro, and 10-time Pro Bowl selection. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2014. I like him. I think his time was due. He finished his career with 111 sacks, second among primary defensive tackles in a career behind John Randall in 1982, who also played for the Rams, with 175.5 since individual sacks became an official start in 1982. That long ago. Wow. He holds the record for career sacks. And more football, the Russell Wilson sign did not seem to signify the end of the Kenny Pickett era. It was going to take a lot of work for Pickett to get back into the team's short, long-term plans. But Pickett and the Steelers decided to part ways anyway. Pickett is a first-round selection from 2022 by the Steelers. and was traded to the Eagles, according to ESPN. The Eagles gave away the 98th pick and 200 and two 2025 seventh round picks, and get Pickett and the number 120th pick overall back. It's an interesting and yet an abrupt move said by ESPN's Adam Schefter. Oh boy, Schefter. That Pickett preferred to move on after the team signed Wilson. There was more to it, said Gary Dolick of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Yeah. Now, Wilson. Yeah. No. Ooh. Yeah. Yes. 6'3" Rangers now, guys. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, moving on. Now, as I said, there is a regular season game that starts on Thursday between the Dodgers and the Giants. The first major league game ever to be played in Seoul, South Korea. Both teams arrived in Seoul early on Friday. Now, and while at the airport, there was an egg thrown in the direction of Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. It did not, though, appear that he was struck. What an idiot, whoever threw the egg. Stupid. There were witnesses. Yes. Okay, Padres. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Okay, the Padres was still California teams. There were witnesses on hand, and police are looking for the idiot who threw the egg. That, according to the Yonhap News in Japan. I think it's it's called Yonhap. Both teams were greeted by fans at the media at the airport, which is custom in South Korea. Athletes and celebrities are interviewed moments after getting off the plane, so large crowds to greet them is pretty much normal, just like the Beatles did in 1964 when they came to the U.S., of course. This weekend for the Giants and Padres, they'll play 2 warm-up games against South Korean teams before playing for real on Thursday. This will be the first time since before the pandemic that the MLB season will open internationally. Well, let's just say outside North America, okay? Because Toronto is, that's international too. Since the A's and Mariners in 2019, so this will be the first time in 5 years they'll open up outside North America. Yeah, I mean, but you gotta be stupid to throw an egg at, especially at the president of the organization. That is just plain stupid. Luckily, it wasn't owner. Yeah, manager. I gotta care about. Yes, but still, you gotta be pretty stupid to throw at a manager, of a team. For what reason? For what reason? I had no idea. I didn't even say what his reason was, but just complete stupid. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. Yes, yes, yeah, I know. And who was the only team that could be the Dodgers, guys? Oh, the other one, the Dodgers themselves. Okay. Hey, Steve, I got something for you. The Commanders are dealing starting quarterback Sam Howell to the Seahawks in a draft pick swap. The Seahawks reportedly will receive Howell for a 4th-round pick as well as a 6th-round pick in next month's draft. Meanwhile, the Commanders are set to receive a 4th-round and a 5th-round pick. Howell was selected in the 5th round of the 2022 draft. The former North Carolina stand-up played 1 game for the Commanders in 2022 in a win over the Cowboys in Week 17. Okay, go ahead, rub it in. Last season, as the Commanders began a new era, as they selected Howell as their new starter over Jacoby Brissett. It was an expected move on Carson Wentz and Taylor Heinicke, but by week 17 of 2023, Howell had announced to have been benched for Brissett. The decision did not last long, however, as Brissett sustained the injury before he could play. Howell regained his role. Over his 2 year stint for the Commanders, Howell had 22 touchdowns, receptions in 18 games. Former Commanders head coach Ron Rivera was a major supporter for Howell. Once Rivera was fired and was replaced by former Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, Howell's time at Washington was just about to end. The Commanders have the second overall pick in the next month's draft and will likely select a quarterback. This week, they signed signal caller Marcus Mariota, who appeared in 3 games as last season as a backup for Jalen Hurts. In Seattle, Howell will back up Geno Smith. You can have him for all I care. That, according to Seattle General Manager John Schneider. Smith was named the 2022 Comeback Player of the Year. All right, Steve. So, do you think this is good news or bad news? Okay. All right. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? If you okay, go ahead. Right. Of course. I think you're right. Careful. Yeah. Right. Oh, wait. Oh, before we get yeah. Diane, your trivia. I knew it. Basketball. I think it was the Utah Jazz. Cavaliers. Now remember, this was before Detroit. This was, yeah, but the book is a little outdated, Roger. So we have to go by that date. But you are correct. The book is a little outdated. Yeah. Uh, okay. So it was after it happened. We got another call here from Virginia. I don't know who this is. So would you please take your name for the record? Oh, Miriam from Assault Show. Oh, hi. Nice to have you on here. Wow. All right. Welcome aboard. Uh, we're going over some basketball trivia now. And we also did. Oh, somebody left. All right. And other articles. But do you want to bring anything to the table before Diane has any more questions? Miriam? Oh, Diane, go on. Under Armour. Under Armour. Under Armour. Nike. Ah, huh. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I think it was Shaq. Kobe, 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 Kobe. Yes, right. And yes. Wait, Diane, read that again. 20 years and what? No, but wait. Oh, but it was 20 years. How many months and how many days? You also forgot about 6 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, that's true. That's true. Oh, Steve, do you have anything for WWE and UFC reports? No. Okay. Okay. Now for the ridiculous story of the week. I think you might find this well. Okay. First up, for the brother of LSU female guard Flo J. Johnson was arrested and charged with assault and battery and disorderly conduct by the Greenville police for his role after his sister was shoved onto the court by South Carolina forward Camelia Carcerdo during an SEC tournament game. Trayon Milton jumped over the scores table to reach the court. Police say Milton made his way onto the court by pushing down a female SEC security employee and stepped on her shoulders to get past. Milton briefly made contact with Calcerto before he was led by police. The police said two people jumped in the stands before they were stopped by the authorities before making it on the court. According to the online Greenville records, Milton remained in jail at the time of this report. Carcerto was ejected for fighting, and three of her teammates were thrown out after leaving the bench area. Two LSU players that logged in minutes were also sent to the court. South Carolina, South Carolina finished the game with six players, and LSU finished with five. Afterward, the remaining Gamecock players celebrated their eighth SEC regular season conference title in the past 10 years without the four in the locker room. It was their eighth regular season title, actually. According to NCAA rules, Carcerto must sit out the next game, which is the first game of the conference tournament. I don't condone this kind of behavior, but come on, he was trying to help his sister, in self defense. So I don't think he should be thrown away in jail, just for that. I mean, it wasn't right for him to to jump on the security and do that. But come on, his sister was in trouble. Now, who wouldn't go out to help a member who was of a family who wasn't in trouble? I mean, really. It's pretty much. Well, I don't know how he would take it. I mean, he wasn't doing it to hurt anybody. He was trying to help his sister for crying out loud. I mean, since was that a crime to do that? And we got some. Is this Brett Hova from Georgia? Yo, glad to have you back, man. So, what did you make of that story? What did you make of that story about the LSU, the brother of the LSU player that got arrested for, I think, trying to save his sister? Yes, right. Yeah. I mean, what you got to do? Throw away in jail for what? 10 years for what? I mean, right? All right. So he had to get. All right, so he had to jump on a secure sea fish. Okay, maybe that wasn't appropriate, but come on, his sister was in trouble. He was just trying to help her out after being by an opponent. So really, I would look at this as self defense. I don't really think yeah, still, but what would you guys do if that was your sibling? What would you do? Thank you. Anybody else? No comment. Okay. All right. Oh, now I got one more basketball story here, and I got to try to find this article because this would be considered rather controversial for some of us. Here it is. All right. Now, this actually happened last week. I didn't get a chance to discuss this because we ran out of time, but here's what happened. This took place in a high school basketball game in New Jersey here. Massaquan against Camden. The Camden High School basketball boys team captured their 13th title last week, being Arch of Newark. Wait, I think that's the wrong one. Okay, the Massaquan boys team was in the stands when Camden won their Group 2 state title championship. The Warriors team is playing but it was also controversial as Massaquan thought they had the winning basket, but it turned out that maybe it was a fraction of a second too late, because as rules state that the ball must leave your hands, the lights go on, the clock hits 0. Massaquan thought they had it, but after checking, with officials, they say that Camden had won it. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is no replay in high school basketball, unlike college and pro. So, that might be a factor right there. I think that maybe now they're going to have to, overlook that and, change that to make it more clear because Massaquan, I think, should have won that game. It was kind of tough. It was kind of tough. Well, I don't think so, huh? Mm. Yeah, it was just a shame to see that how you lose a game on a controversial call. Uh, yeah, yeah. But what a way to lose a game. Yeah, just a sad way to, I mean, they play hard all year, and I had to come down to that. So you got to look at it that way. And I feel kind of bad, for Masquan, but they did give it a good run. Oh, Mikey, I got something for you. The New York Mets, sorry, have named lefty Jose Quintana as their opening day starter. They announced it on Wednesday. The Mets will open the season at home on March 28th against the Brewers, and Freddie Porcello will start for them. Quintana is 0-1 with a 2.08 ERA and 3 spring training starts. He went 3-6 with 3.57 ERA and 13 starts. He missed half of last season with a stress fracture in his rib cage. Yowza. That's kind of hurt. It'll be his second opening start for Quintana, who last opened for the White Sox in 2017. He is the first lefty to pitch an opening day for the Mets since John Neese back in 2013. So, looks like you got your opening day matchup lineup all set, huh, Mike? So you like the idea? Yeah. Oh, brother. I just found out. I just stumbled on something here, guys. You ready for this? The Arena League football and OT games live on NFL Network this spring. That's right. They're starting. Okay, here we go again, folks. Uh, 30, 30 plus Arena Football League regular season starts on April 27th. Orlando Predators versus the Albany Firebirds at 8 o'clock. Following NFL Network's coverage of the 2024 draft. The 2024 AFL season will feature 16 teams. Live coverage of overtimes OT7 league beginning Saturday, April 6th at 4 p.m. Coverage of select regular season matchups through May 5th and the championship weekend through June 6th, June 9th. So, yes, Arena Football League lives on. Oh, brother. Here we go. Well, it's different than regular football. I mean, I've seen it. I enjoyed watching it, but I think it's seen better days. To be honest with you, yes, yeah, it's shorter. Well, of course, it's indoors. What do you expect? But was anybody really think about the AFL coming back? Oh, brother, no, no, this is indoor football. Yeah, they call it the arena. Well, of course not, but still, I mean, remember, guys, Arena League is nothing new. I mean, this is going on now, off and on now, almost 40 years. I remember when the league first started. I'm like, when I first heard about it, I'm like, what? You're going to do what kind of football now? Uh, this doesn't make any sense. But after seeing it, I kind of got the gist of it, and it's not really that bad of an idea. So we'll take care of that as we get closer to the season. Okay, fast pace game. Yes. Okay, now for another disturbing story here. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is being investigated, or was investigated, for his involvement in an alleged sexual assault that took place 7 years ago. Dallas police told the Dallas Morning News. The alleged incident, yeah, well, don't forget, I posted this on Thursday. The alleged incident in a parking lot of a strip club on Groundhog Day 2017, so said by the Dallas Morning News. It comes days after Texas Prosper Police opened an investigation into the quarterback claims that he was extorted. Really now. The league did not offer a comment on the matter earlier this week. Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones, Barry's boy, did provide a comment for the team during the PBR World Finals media conference on Thursday. On Monday, Prescott claimed that a woman from the Fort Worth area falsely accused him of sexual assault and accused the woman of trying to black $300 million. Okay. Um, 4 days after Prescott filed the lawsuit, he met with the police. His attorney Levi G. Uh, Catherine further explained the interaction between Prescott and his was consensual, but did not go into any more details. Yoel Zahi, the attorney representing the woman whose name was not given, was adamant that Prescott assaulted his client, and a civil lawsuit is coming. During an interview on 105.3 in Dallas on Tuesday, filing criminal charges also is not out of the question, Zahid added. Oh boy. Prescott's back in. Oh boy. That's when you thought everything was all ready for the Cowboys and his problems. He starts back up again. You do? Okay. Yeah, I think she's looking to make a quick buck, to be honest with you. Yes, exactly. They always seem to do that. Larry Nasser, yes. Larry Nasser. Yeah, yes, right. Right. Okay. So I. All right. Okay, now on to more news. Okay, following an altercation in the second period of the Rangers' win over the Devils on Monday night. Sorry, Devils fans. The AHL's public enemy number one, Matt Rempe, was suspended for 4 games for elbowing the Devils' Jonas Siegenhater in the head. Rempe, who has become a favorite and the number one bad boy of the league, has taken the league by storm for the amount of fights he's gotten into in the league since he came in 3 weeks ago. However, the head to say that took it to another level as he appeared to extend his elbow and made contact with Siegenhater's head intentionally in the final seconds of the second period. Siegenhater is a 6-year vet. His 4 seasons with the Devils instantly went down after getting hit and left the ice. After the game, Curtis McDermott came to the defense of his teammate and made some choice words that I will not say on the air. He expressed the disapproval of this. There's a right way and a wrong way to handle things, said McDermott. And I know that kind of lost, and I have a kind of lost a lot of respect for him. Rempe will be able to return to the Rangers on the 19th against the Jets. So he got suspended, and I'm not surprised by that. But do you think maybe 4 games was too much? Not enough, or just about right? This guy is really, I think he's becoming like the next Ty Domi of the league from 20 years ago because he was an animal. And I think maybe he's adopted some of those traits. So let me start with the crew here from my area. Steve, I'm sorry, Mike, what do you make of the punishment for Rempe? Yeah, but how many games? So, like, so maybe like 10 games. All right. Okay. Yeah, go by how many games, Mike? Because we're at that point. Okay. All right. Diane. All right. Roger. Alex. We did it again. All right. Steve, how many games do you think Rempe should be suspended for? If it's happened to a Capitals, would you think differently? Got him. Got him. Miriam, if you're still here, how many games do you think Rempe should be suspended for? Well, it's at least 4, so we got to go with more than 4, at least. All right, we'll give you 4. All right. You got Hova? Well, he got suspended for 4 games. I think you should get maybe I'll say 6 or 7. But I mean, this guy is no, but you heard about what happened, of course, right? I mean, because yeah. I mean, I mean, he's been picking fights ever since he got into the league. Not that easy to do. We also have a sad story to mention here from Toronto. I don't know if many's heard this, but Raptors guard RJ Barrett is in the mourning over the death of his younger brother, Nathan. Here's what happened. The Barrett family said Nathan passed away on Tuesday. The statement released on Thursday by the Raptors and Canada Basketball did not disclose his age or the cause of death. That has yet to be determined. RJ and his father, Rowan, is the general manager of Basketball Canada. While we are devastated by the loss, we will continue to cherish the time that we spent together, as read in the statement. RJ Barrett is second on the Raptors in scoring at 19.5 points per game and did not play in Wednesday's loss to the Pistons and did not play last night against the Magic for, well, obvious reasons, of course. Like his brother, Nate played high school at Monter, uh, Montervale Academy in Florida. R.J. Barrett played one season at Duke before the draft. He was selected third by the Knicks in 2019. I remember that. And was just traded last month. That's got to be a shame when you lose a sibling that was very close to you, and played as well. So my sympathies go out to the Barrett family. It's always tough when you lose someone that close to you. It's so young too. That's what makes it even worse. Well, I'm just speechless. Anybody any comments on that? Because I'm at a loss for words with that one. Yeah. Well, yeah, and the family as well. Oh boy, this just might be my worst story of the month. As tragedy as it is. All right. Okay, on to more brighter news here. The Blue Jays, well, not too bright because it's about the injury. Blue Jays catcher Danny Jansen will be missing 2 weeks at least after suffering a small fracture in his right wrist. Ooh. Manager John Schneider announced on Friday that Jansen suffered a broken bone in his wrist after being struck by a pitch on Wednesday. The injuries are coming up early this year. The Blue Jays will open the season in Tampa when they take on the Rays March 28th through the 31st. Jansen hit 17 home runs and 53 RBIs last year in 86 games. His sixth season with the Blue Jays. Well, that should be a fast recovery, so I wouldn't dwell too much on that. Easy. Now, I have good news on Garoppolo, though. The Rams and Jimmy G did come to terms on a one-year deal, according to multiple reports earlier today. The G-Men spent last season with the Raiders and will now join Matthew Stafford and head coach Sean McVay in Los Angeles. Garoppolo, however, will not be able to back up Stafford until at least the third game of the season after serving a 2-game suspension for violation of performance-enhancing drugs. A change for the Rams as news of Garoppolo's arrival comes hours after Aaron Donald announced his retirement. There was need for an additional quarterback in LA as Stetson Bennett spent last season on the non-football injury list. Garoppolo was one of the four Rares that were waived in a series of salary cap efforts on the first day of the new league year, which began Wednesday, as I previously mentioned. The move was obvious after he reportedly signed a 2-year, $25 million free agency deal with quarterback Gardner Minshew. So with Garoppolo Stafford together, hey, what do you think? Do the Rams have a legitimate shot this year? Any questions? Hopefully, we don't have to what, Steve? Would you say that again, please? Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah. Well, that's true. But that's going to be, I think a great offensive lineup. That's going to be a great offensive lineup, I think. So, this could be good. This could be good news here for the Rams. They have been the same since they won the Super Bowl. But I think with Garoppolo joining the team, I think that's going to make a very good impact. They do. Yes. Right. Yes. Piper. Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm glad you're here because I got something for you. One of your great players. Um, yeah, Ronald Acuna Jr. made his return to spring training on Thursday, 2 weeks before opening day. Acuna batted in the leadoff position and filled the DH spot against the Rays as he was hitless in 3 at-bats and struck out twice before being lifted for a pinch hitter. Yeah, it's only spring training, so there's nothing really to worry about. Acuna played for the first time since feeling soreness on a surgically repaired right knee after a rundown in a February 29th exhibition game against the Twins. Taking no chances, the Braves sent him to LA to be examined by the doctor's top physician, Dr. Neil Shatrate, who had operated on Acuna after Acuna went down in a season-ending knee injury in 2021. It was the year they won the World Series. Altuve was only found irritation in the meniscus area of the knee, clearing the way for Acuna to increase his baseball activity in preparation for the March 20th opener against the Phillies. So what do you make of that with your boy Acuna? Oh, I'm not touching that one. Well, actually, I did hear but I hear they were actually providing free bubble wrap to the first 10,000 fans at the game. Yeah. Anybody want to buy some bubble wrap? True. True. Yes. I don't know if I call it a bus, but just keep them away from just keep them away from Florida Marlin because you know how they act up together, right? Oh, I know that because, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me say this before. The Marlins and the Braves can't stand each other. That's what it was. No, no, I don't like him either. Okay, so I gotta go to this week in history. I only got 5 minutes, guys, so we gotta keep this rolling. Uh, Listen to this, guys. 1957, Toronto Maple Leafs tied an NHL record 37 points after beating my New York Rangers 14-1. Ugh, yuck. That's disgusting. Ugh. Moving along. 1955, NHL president Clarence Campbell suspends Montreal Canadiens star Maurice Richard, aka the Rocket, for the remainder of the season after he viciously attacked his opponent and riots ensued in Montreal. This makes Rimpey look like a choir boy. Ugh. A riot to go with it. Wow. Okay. 1964. Paul Hornung and Alex Karras were reinstated in the NFL after a 1-year suspension for gambling. Yeah. Uh, for some of you from my generation, you might know who Alex Karras is after his days of football, right, guys? Yes. You never saw the show Webster, did you? Okay. Then you wouldn't know, but I do. 1969, Boston Bruins scored a record eight goals in one period. Ooh, wow, 8, and then they ate the sandbox too. Oh boy. All right, 1983, the smallest crowd of 1,814 attended an NBA game as the Cavaliers faced the Nets at the Cleveland Coliseum. Wow, yuck. That's probably why it was a small crowd. You know. Yep. Yep. And what do we call that, guys? What do we call Cleveland? Thank you. Thank you. Remember, guys, listen for the joke. All right. 1985, two-time Cy Young winner, former Cy Young Award winner, Denny McClellan is convicted of embezzlement and drug trafficking and was sentenced to 25 years, but later the conviction was reversed. How interesting. 1991, Nets coach Bill Finch is the fourth coach to win 800 games in his career. 1991, Lee's figure skating champion in Munich was won by Christy Yamaguchi. I remember that. 1994, American figure skater Tanya Harding pleads guilty to felony attack on former Olympic teammate Nancy Kerrigan, and said, "Why me? Why me?" Oh no! Oh, can we edit that out, please? No. 1996, Mike Tyson technically knockouts Frank Bruno in the third round to gain the heavyweight champion of the world. I had to do that. 1997, Dave Anderchuk of the Devils is the 26th player to score 500 goals. You guys should remember that. All right. 2023 in the SEC men's basketball tournament, Kentucky beats Mississippi State 64-57. And 2003 in the ACC tournament, Duke beat NC State 84-77. In 2008 in the SEC tournament, Georgia beat Arkansas 66-57. I think Hova remembers that. 2008 in the men's basketball tournament, North Carolina beat number 22 Clemson 86-61. And in 2013, in the Big East tournament, Louisville beat Syracuse 68-61. Back when they were both in the Big East, they now moved to the SEC. And finally, in the other men's tournament, Florida beat Kentucky 61-60 in the SEC tournament. In 2014, in the ACC, Virginia beat 72-63. And Major League Baseball suspends their major spring training and delays the start of the regular season in response to the COVID pandemic in 2020. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I got to get out of here. Check out Rasal. I'll join him in a few minutes. Next week, we'll take care of the NCAA basketball tournament in the second round. We'll also take care of the UFL as they start up. So, on that note, have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week. Same time, same station. On that note, have a good week.